golden afternoon, full leisurely we glide, for both our oars with little skill by little arms are plied.
While little hands make vain pretence our wanderings to guide.
Our crew three, at such an hour, beneath such dreamy weather,
to beg a tale of breath to eat, to stir the tiniest feather.
yet what can one poor voice avail against 3 tongues together? Imperious Prima flashes forth, her edict to
begin. In gentler tones Lacuna hopes.
There will be nonsense in it.
While Tertia interrupts the tale,
Not more than once a minute.
anon the sudden silence won. In fancy they pursue the dream child, moving through a land of wonders wild and new.
In friendly chat with bird or beast, and half believe it true.
And ever as the story drained the wells of fancy bride,
and faintly strove that weary one to put the subject by.
The rest next time.
It is next time!
the happy voices cry.
Thus grew the tale of Wonderland, thus slowly one by one.
It's great events, we'll have it out, and now the tale is done.
And home we steer our merry crew beneath the setting sun.
Alice, a childish story take, and with a gentle hand lay it where childhood's dreams are twined in memory's mystic band, like pilgrims' withered wreath of flowers, plucked in a far-off land.
Oh, my ears and whiskers, how late it's getting.
Would you like cats if you were me? The best thing to get us dry would be a carcass race. But who has one?
I don't know the meaning of half those long words, and what's more, I don't believe you do either.
Who are you?
I can't explain myself, I'm afraid, sir, because I am not myself, you see.
Did you say pig or fig?
It wasn't very civil of you to sit down without being invited.
Why is a raven like a writing desk? Please, would you tell me why your cat comes like that?
We're painting roses red.
Curiouser and curiouser.
It is wrong, from beginning to end.
No wonder you're late. Why, this watch is exactly 2 days slow.
I didn't write it, and they can't prove I did. There's no name signed at the end.
Begin at the beginning and go on till you come to the end, then stop.
What? Never of uglifying. You know what to beautify is, I suppose.
Sentence first, evidence afterwards.
We're all mad here. You are nothing but a pack of cards.
What's the use of a book without pictures of conversation? Oh dear, I shall be late. Well, after such a fall as this, I shall think nothing of tumbling down the stairs. How brave the old thing can't know. I wonder how many miles I've fallen by now. I wonder if I shall fall right through the earth. How funny it will seem to come out among the people that walk with their heads downward. But I'll have to ask them what country it is, you know. Mom, is this New Zealand or Australia? Oh, Dinah, my dear cat, I wish you were down here with me. There are no mice in the air, I'm afraid. You might catch a bat, and a bat is very much like a mouse, you know. But do cats eat bats, I wonder? Do cats eat bats? Do cats eat bats? Do bats eat cats? Now tell me the truth, Dinah. Did you know any of that? Drink me. If you drink much from a bottle marked poison, it's sure to disgrace you sooner or later. My, what a curious feeling. I must be opening out like a sunset.
Curiouser and curiouser. Oh dear, this is more hopeless than ever. You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
a great girl like you, to go on crying in this way. Stop this moment, I tell you.
Oh, the Duchess, oh, won't you be savages? I kept her waiting.
If you would please, sir.
Now, let me think. Well, let's say when I got up this morning, I can almost think I remember feeling a little different. But if I'm not the same, the next question is, who am I? And where have I gotten to? Have I fallen into the sea? No. Are those my tears? Oh, I do wish I hadn't cried so much. Oh, Mouse, do you know the way out of this pool? I'm getting awful tired of swimming. Mouse, perhaps doesn't understand English. We made you share. Well, I quite forgot you didn't like cats.
Not like cats? Would you like cats if you were me?
Well, perhaps not. Don't be angry about it. I wish I could show you our cat, Dinah. I think you'd take a fancy to cats if you could only see her. She's such a dear, quiet thing, and she's sitting by the fire, and she's such a capital one for catching mice. Oh! We won't talk about her again if you'd rather not.
We indeed. As if I would talk on such subject. I really always hated cats. Nasty little vulgar things. Don't let me hear that name again!
I won't indeed. Oh, you all drowned in his rifle. Come this way.
Sit down, all of you, and listen to me. I'll soon make you dry. Get in. Are you ready? This is the driest thing I know. It is my tale. Fury said to a mouse that he met in a house, let us both go to the law. I will promise you too. I won't take no denial. We must have a trial. For really this morning I've nothing to do. Send the mouse to the curse, such a child do so, and the jury or judge would be wasting our breath. I'll be judge, I'll be jury, for highly fulfilling. I'll try the full cause and condemn you to death. I beg your pardon. Did you speak?
Not I.
I thought you did.
He did.
He what?
Speak!
I have nothing to say.
As much as that, it doesn't seem to try to fall.
In that case, I move the meeting adjourned to the immediate adoption of more energetic remedies.
Speak English! I don't know the meaning of half the long words, and what's more, I don't believe you do either.
What I was going to say was that the best thing to get us dry would be a coffee drink.
What's a coffee space?
The best way to explain it is to do. The race is over!
But you has won!
Everyone has won and all must have prizes.
Prizes! But who's to give the prizes?
Why, she, of course.
But she must have a prize herself, you know.
What else should be got in your pocket?
Only a thimble.
And it's over here.
We beg your acceptance of this elegant thing.
I too wish Dinah was here. She would so enjoy this.
And who is Dinah? Might I venture to ask a question?
Dinah's like our cat. She's such a capital when we catching mice. And you should see that little bird. She'll eat a little bird as soon as you look at it.
I really must get going. My goodness, what's with them doing? Who are you?
I hardly know, sir. Just a present. At least I know where I was on the road this morning, but I think I must have been changed several times since then.
What do you mean by that? Explain yourself.
I can't explain myself, I'm afraid, sir. For I'm not myself, you see.
I don't see.
I'm afraid I can't put it more clearly, sir, for I can't understand myself to begin with, and being something that excites me in the day is very confusing.
It isn't.
Perhaps you haven't found it so yet, but when you have a butterfly, I shall think you'll feel really clear, won't you?
Not a bit.
Well, perhaps you haven't found it so yet. All I know is it will feel very clear to me.
You. Who are you?
I think you ought to tell me who you are.
Why? Come back! I have something important to say. Keep your temper.
Is that all?
No. So, you think you're changed, do you?
I'm afraid I am, sir. I can't remember things that I used, and I don't keep the same size for 10 minutes together.
Can't remember what things.
Well, I've tried to say how doubtful a little bunch of busy bee, but it all came out different.
Repeat. You are old, Father William.
There's certainly too much pepper in that soup. Please, would you tell me why your cat grins like that?
It's a Cheshire cat, and that's why. Pig!
I didn't know that Cheshire cats always grin. In fact, I didn't know that cats could grin.
They all can, and most of them do.
I don't know of any that do.
Well, you don't know much, and that's a fact.
Oh, do you mind what you're doing? Well, there goes his precious nose.
Everyone minded their own business. The world would go around a great deal faster than it does.
Not to an advantage. Just think of the work it would make on the day and night. You see, the Earth takes 24 hours to turn round on its axis.
Speaking of axes, chop off my head!
24 hours, I think, or is it 12?
Don't bother me. I never could abide figures. Speak lovely to your little boy and beat him when he sneezes. He only does it to annoy because he knows it teases. Would you like to give it a verse?
I speaks it freely to my boy. I beat him when he sneezes, for he can thoroughly enjoy the pepper when he pleases.
Very nice. Here, you mind him a bit. I must go prepare to play croquet with the queen.
I don't take this child away with me. They're sure to kill it in a day or two. Wouldn't it be murder to leave it behind? Don't grunt, that's not at all a proper way of expressing yourself. Now, what am I to do with this child when I get it home? If it had grown up, it would have made a dreadfully ugly child. But it makes a rather handsome pig, I think. Hush up, Puss. Would you tell me which way I ought to go from here?
That depends on a good deal on where you want to get to.
I don't much care where,
Then it doesn't matter which way you go.
so long as I get somewhere.
Oh, you're sure to do that if only you walk long enough.
What sort of people live out here?
In that direction lives a hatter, and in that direction lives a hare. There's either you like, they're both mad.
I don't want to go among mad people.
Oh, you can't help that. We're all mad here. I'm mad, you're mad.
How do you know I'm mad?
You must be, or you wouldn't have come here.
How do you know that you're mad?
To begin with, a dog's not mad. You grant that?
I suppose.
Well, then you see, a dog growls when it's angry and wags its tail when it's pleased. I growl when I'm pleased and wag my tail when I'm angry. Therefore, I'm mad.
I call it purring, not growling.
Call it what you like. Do you play croquet with the queen today?
I should like it very much, but I haven't been invited yet.
You'll see me there. By the by, what became of the baby? I nearly forgot to ask.
It turned into a pig.
I thought it was.
I've seen hatters before. The March Hare would be much the most interesting. And perhaps as this is made, it won't be so mad. At least not so raving mad as it was in March.
Did you say pig or fig?
I said pig, and I wish you wouldn't keep appearing and vanishing so suddenly. It makes one quite giddy.
All right.
Perhaps it should be raving mad after all. I almost wish I'd gone to see the hatter instead. No room! No room!
There's plenty of room.
Have some wine.
I don't see any wine.
There isn't any.
Then it wasn't very civil of you to offer
It
it.
wasn't very civil of you to sit down without being invited.
I didn't know it was your table. It's laid full great many more than three.
Your hair wants cutting.
You should learn not to make personal remarks. It's very rude.
Why is raving like a writing desk?
Oh, I do love riddles. I believe I can guess that.
Do you mean that you think you can find out the answer
you mean. I do. At least I mean what I say. That's the same thing, you know.
Not the same thing a bit. You might as well say, I see what I eat is the same thing as I eat what I see.
You might just as well say, as I get what I like what I get is the same thing as I get what I like. You might just as well say, I breathe when I sleep is the same thing as I sleep when I breathe.
It is the same thing as you.
What day of the month is it?
The 4th. 2 days on. I told you butter wouldn't suit the works.
It was the best butter. It was the best butter.
Yes, but the crumbs must have gotten it as well. Told you you shouldn't have put it in with the bread knife.
It was the best butter.
What a funny watch. It tells the day of the month, but it doesn't tell which o'clock it is.
Why should it? Does your watch tell what year it is?
Of course not. That's because it stays the same year for such a long time together.
Which is just the case with mine.
I don't quite understand you.
The dormouse is asleep again.
Of course, just what I was going to remind myself.
Have you guessed the riddle yet?
No, I give it up. What's the answer?
I haven't the slightest idea.
Nor I.
I think you should do something better with the time than waste it in asking riddles that have no answers.
If you do time as well as I do, you won't talk about wasting it. It's him.
I don't know what you mean.
Of course not. Dare say you've never even spoken the time.
Perhaps not, but I know I have to beat time when I learn music.
That accounts for it. Won't stand beating. Now, if you only kept on good terms with him, he'd do almost anything you liked with the clock. For instance, suppose it were 9 o'clock in the morning, just time to begin lesson. You only have to whisper into the clock and the time, and round goes the clock in a twinkling. 1:30, time for dinner.
I only wish it was.
That would be grand, certainly, but then I shouldn't be counted for it, you know.
Not at first, perhaps, but you could keep it to 1:30 as long as you like.
Is that the way you manage?
No, it's all right. The crow last March, just before he went mad. It was at the great concert given by the Queen of Hearts, and I had to sing Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. You know the song, perhaps?
I've heard something like it.
It goes on, you know, in this way. Twinkle, twinkle, little bat, how I wonder what you're in. Up above the world you fly, like a teardrop in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, well, I'd only just finished the first verse when the Queen jumped up and bawled out, "He's murdering the time! On with his head!"
Oh, dreadfully savage.
And ever since then, after, here I asked, always 6 o'clock now.
Is that the reason so many tea out?
Yes, that's it. It's always tea time whenever you don't have time to watch things between the wires.
Then you keep moving around, I suppose.
Exactly, sir, as the things get used up.
But what happens when you come back to the beginning?
Suppose we change the subject. I'm getting tired of this. I vote the young lady tell us a story.
I'm afraid I don't know one.
Then the dormouse shout.
Wake up, Dormouse!
I wasn't asleep. I heard every word you fellows were saying. Tell us a story.
Yes, please do.
And be quick about it or you'll be asleep again before it's done.
Once upon a time, there were 3 little sisters, and their names were Elsie, Lacey, and Tilly, and all lived at the bottom of a well.
What did they live on?
They lived on treacle.
They couldn't have done that, you know. They'd have been ill.
So they were very ill.
But why did they live at the bottom of a well?
Take more tea.
I've had nothing yet, so I can't take more.
You mean you can't take less? It's very easy to take more than nothing.
Why did they live at the bottom of a well?
They were well in. It was a treacle well.
There's no such thing. If you can't be silly, you better finish the story for yourself. No, I dare say there may be one.
One indeed. And so these three little sisters were learning to draw, you know.
What did they draw?
I want to clean up. Let's all move one place on.
What did they draw the treacle from?
You can draw water out of a water well. So I should think you could draw a treacle out of a treacle well.
But they went in the well.
They were well in, and so these three little sisters were learning to draw everything that begins with the letter M.
Why with an M?
Why not? With an M, such as mousetraps, the moon, memory, and muchness. You know, you say things are much of a muchness. Did you ever see a drawing of a muchness?
Really? Now you ask me. I don't think...
Hey, you! Shut it! Talk!
Well, I dare say I'll never go there again. It's the stupidest tea party I ever was at in all my life.
Look out, the picture doesn't get on me like that. I couldn't help it. You dropped my elbow. That's right. I was playing the blame on others. You better not talk. I heard the things you only yesterday because actually you had it. What for? It also brings like a killer business and all the other things.
Please, you tell me, why are you painting those roses?
Well, you see, miss, this was out to be a red rose tree, but we put a white one in by mistake. And if the queen was to find out where our heads cut off, so you see, it's like a before she comes to... The queen! The queen!
Who is this?
I don't know.
Eat.
What is your name, child? My name is Alex, so please your majesty. And you are these? How should I know? It's no business of mine. Oh, nonsense!
Consider, my dear, she is only a child.
Turn them over. Get up! Be over and make me gig. What have you been doing here?
Please, your majesty, we're trying.
I see. Open their heads! You sons of your Are their heads off?
The heads are off, Your Majesty.
That's right.
You mean the brigade? Yes. Come on then. It's a very fun day.
Yes. Where's the Duchess?
Hush, hush. She doesn't listen to that
cat. Now I shall have someone to talk to.
How do you like the queen?
Not at all. She's so extremely likely to win that it's hardly worthwhile finishing the game.
Who are you talking to?
A friend of mine, a Cheshire cat. Allow me to introduce her.
I don't like the look of it at all. However, it may kiss my hand if it likes. Don't be impertinent! And don't look at me like that!
A cat will look at the king. I read that in some book. I don't remember where.
Well, it must be removed. My dear! My dear! I wish you would have this cat removed!
Off with its head.
You can't get off the head unless there's a body to come it from.
Anything that has a head can be beheaded. Don't talk nonsense.
Well, if something isn't done in about less than no time, I'll have everybody executed all right.
It belongs to the Duchess. You'd better ask her about it.
She's in prison. Fetch her here.
Oh, my dear. You can't think how glad I am to see you again, my dear old thing. You're thinking again, my dear, and that makes you forget to talk. I can't quite think what the moral of that is, but I shall think of it in a bit.
Perhaps it hasn't one.
Oh, tut, tut, child, everything's got a moral if only you can find it.
The game's going on rather better now.
Oh, 'tis so, 'tis so. And the moral of that is, 'tis love makes the world go round.
Somebody said that it was done by everybody minding their own business.
Oh, yes, it is. And the moral of that is, be what you would seem to be, or if you would like it but more simply, be nothing but what everyone else thinks that otherwise you should have been, if otherwise you might have been what you could have been, if you might have been what you were otherwise.
I can't quite follow that as you say. But I think I should understand that more clearly if I had it written down.
That's nothing to what I could say if I chose to. And the moral of that... Is it fine, Your Majesty?
Now I give you a fair warning. Either you or your head must be off, and that in about half an hour time. Take your choice. Have you seen Mock Turtle yet?
No, I don't know who Mock Turtle is.
It's the thing that Mock Turtle suits.
I never saw one or heard of one.
Then come on then, and he shall tell you his history.
You are all pardoned.
Up, lazy thing, and take this young lady to see the Mock Turtle and to hear his history. I have to go back and see if some executions I have ordered.
What fun?
What is the fun?
Well, she, of course, it's all about to that. They never execute nobody now. Come on.
Everyone says, come on here. I've never been so ordered about in all my life. Never. What's his sorrow?
He hasn't really so it's all about that. He hasn't got much sorry yet. This dear young lady, she wants for to know your history, she do.
I'll tell it her. Sit down, both of you, and don't speak a word until I've finished. Once, I was a real When we were young, we went to school in the sea. The master was an old turtle. We used to call him Tortoise.
Why did you call him Tortoise if he wasn't one?
We called him Tortoise because he taught us. Really, you are very dull.
Ought to be ashamed of yourself for asking such a simple question. Go on, Fella. Don't be all day about it.
We went to school in the sea, though you mayn't believe it.
I never said I didn't.
You did.
Hold you, Tom.
We had the best of educations. We went to school every day.
I went to a day school too. You needn't be so proud of that.
With extras
Yes, we learned French and music.
and washing.
Certainly not.
Ah, then yours wasn't really a very good school. Now at ours, they had at the end of the bill, French, music, and washing extra.
I wouldn't have wanted it much living at the bottom of the sea.
I couldn't afford to learn it. I only took the regular course.
And what was that?
Oh, reeling and writhing, of course, to begin with, and then the various branches of arithmetic, ambition, distraction, uglification, and derision.
I've never heard of uglification before. What is it?
What? Never heard of uglifying? You know, to beautify it, I suppose.
Yes, it means to make anything prettier.
Well then, if you don't know what to uglify is, you are a simpleton.
And how many hours a day do you do lessons?
10 hours the first day, 9 the next, and so on.
What a curious plan.
That's the reason they're called lessons, because they lesson from day to day.
The 11th day must have been a holiday.
Of course it was.
And how much fun did it fell?
That's enough about lessons. Tell us something about the games now. Seems that we've got a bone in this throat.
You may not have lived much under the sea,
I haven't.
and perhaps you were never even introduced to a lobster.
Well, I once tasted. No, never.
Then you can have no idea what a delightful thing a lobster quadrille is.
No, what kind of dance is it?
Well, you first fall into a line along the seashore.
2 lines, seals, turtles, salmon, and so forth, and then once you've cleared all the jellyfish out of the way,
That generally takes some time.
you advance twice.
Each with lobsters apart.
Of course, advance twice, set to partners.
Change lobsters again.
Then once you've thrown all the
Put
lobsters
the lobster.
out into the sea,
Then after that,
turn a somersault in the sea,
change lobsters again.
back to land, and that's all the first figure.
Very lovely dance. May I see it?
Alas, impossible.
Why is it?
Well, the lobsters got thrown out to sea. So they had to fall a long way. So they got their tails fastened in the mouth. So they couldn't get them out again. That's all.
What a pity. It sounds like a very lovely dance.
Would you like the mock turtle to sing you a song?
Oh yes, the mock turtle would be so fun.
Well, no accounting for taste. Sing a turtle soup, will you, old fella?
Beautiful soup, so rich and green, waiting in a hot tureen. Who for such dainties would not stoop? Soup of the evening, beautiful soup. Soup of the evening, beautiful soup. Beautiful soup. Beautiful soup, soup of the evening, beautiful, beautiful soup.
Teach her how to cook, not shy.
Beautiful soup, who cares for fish, game, or any other dish? Who would not give all else for 2 pennyworth only of beautiful soup? Pennyworth only of beautiful soup. Beautiful soup. Beautiful soup, soup of the evening, beautiful, beautiful soup, beautiful soup,
can't have anything to put down before the trial's begun.
They're putting down their names. Feel they should get them by the end of the trial.
Silence in the court!
Harold, read the accusation.
The Queen of Hearts made some tarts on a summer day. The Knave of Hearts, he stole those tarts and took them quite away.
Consider your verdict.
Not yet, not yet. There's more evidence to come before that.
Call the first witness.
First witness.
I apologize, Your Majesty, for bringing these things in, but I don't just begun my tour around second.
You ought to have finished. What time did you begin?
14th of March, I think it was.
Write that down. Take off your hat.
I can't.
Why not?
It isn't mine.
Stolen!
I don't. I give them to sell. None of mine. I'm a hatter.
Well, give your evidence and don't be nervous or I'll have you executed on the spot.
I wish you wouldn't speak so I can hardly breathe.
I can't help it, I'm growing.
But you have no right to grow here.
Talk nonsense, you know you're growing too.
Yes, but I'm growing at a reasonable pace, not in that ridiculous fashion.
Bring me a list of the singers at the last concert.
Give your evidence or I'll have you executed whether you're nervous or not.
I'm Paul Man, not with the twinkling of the tea.
The twinkling of the what?
It began with the tea.
Of course twinkling begins with the T. Do you take me for a dunce? Go on.
And the room was something, and then the dormouse said, and then I cut myself some more on the blood.
But what did the dormouse say?
That I can't remember.
You must remember, or I'll have you executed.
I'm a poor man.
You're a very poor speaker. If that's all you know about it, you may stand down.
I can't get it. I'm on the floor as it is.
Then you may sit down.
I'd rather finish my tea.
You may go.
And just take his head off and side.
Call the next witness.
Second witness.
Give your evidence!
Chance. Your Majesty must cross-examine this witness.
Well, if I must, I must. What are tarts made of?
Pepper, mostly.
Never mind. Call the next witness.
Alice?
Really, my dear, you must cross-examine the next witness. It quite makes my forehead ache.
Oh, I beg your pardon.
The trial cannot proceed until all of the jurymen are back in their proper places. All. What do you know about this business?
Nothing.
Nothing whatever.
Nothing whatever.
That's very important.
Unimportant, Your Majesty means.
Unimportant. Of course I meant Important. Important? Silence! Rule 42, all persons more than a mile high to leave the court.
I'm not a mile high.
You are?
Nearly 2 miles high.
Well, I shan't go at any rate. Besides, that's not even a regular rule. You invented it just now.
Why, it's the oldest rule in the book.
Then it ought to be number 1.
Consider your verdict.
There's more evidence to come yet. Please, Your Majesty, this paper has just been picked up.
What's in it?
I haven't opened it yet. But it seems to be a letter written to a prisoner to somebody.
Well, it must have been that, and it was written to nobody, which isn't usual, you know.
Who is it directed to?
It isn't directed at all. In fact, there's nothing written on the outside. It isn't a letter after all. It's a set of verses.
Are they in the prisoner's handwriting?
No, they're not, and that's the clearest thing about it.
Well, he must have imitated somebody else's hand.
Please, Your Majesty, I didn't write it, and you cannot prove I did. There's my name's on it, yeah.
Well, if you didn't sign your name, that only makes the matter worse. If you must have intended some mischief, or else you would have signed your name like an honest man.
That proves his guilt.
It proves nothing of the sort. Why, you don't even know what they're about.
Read,
Where should I begin, Your Majesty?
begin at the beginning, and go on until you come to the end. And then stop.
No, no. Sentence first, verdict afterwards.
Stop and nonsense. The idea of having the sentence first.
Hold your tongue.
I won't.
Off with her head.
Who cares for you? You're nothing but a pack of cards.
Go on till you come to the end. Then stop.
Why, what a long sleep you've had.
And I've had such a curious dream.
Well, it must have been a very curious dream, dearie. Run into your tea now. It's getting late.
But her sister sat still just as she left her, leaning her head on her hand, watching the setting sun till she too began dreaming after a fashion, and this was her dream. First she dreamed of little Alice herself, and once again the tiny hands were clasped upon her knee, and the bright eager eyes were looking into hers. She could hear the very tones of her voice and see that queer little toss of her head to keep back the wandering hair that would always get into her eyes. And still she listened, or seemed to listen. The whole place around her became alive with the strange creatures of her little sister's dream. The long grass rustled at her feet as the white rabbit hurried by. The frightened mouse splashed his way through the neighboring pool. She could hear the rattle of the teacup as the March Hare and his friends shared their never-ending meal, and the shrill voice of the Queen ordering off her unfortunate guest to execution. Once more the pig baby was sneezing on the Duchess' knee, while plates and dishes crashed around it. Once more the shriek of the griffin, the squeaking of the lizard mixed up with the miserable sobs of the mock turtle. So she sat on with eyes closed and half believed herself in Wonderland. With the smiling Cheshire cat and the chattering birds, she felt the warm summer sun and imagined floating through the caterpillar's smoke rings. Lastly, she pictured to herself how this same little sister of hers would, in the aftertime, be herself a grown woman, and how she would keep, through all her riper years, the simple and loving heart of her childhood, and how she would gather about her other little children and make their eyes bright and eager with many a strange tale, perhaps even with the dream of Wonderland of long ago, and how she would feel with all their simple sorrows and find a pleasure in all their simple joys, remembering her own child life and the happy summer days.